Welcome everyone. So today we're looking at creating columns using H5P on WordPress. So a column is nothing special. It is a way of displaying different H5P modules on one page, all vertically. So if you see here, you've seen these different modules. We got presentations, dialog cards, multiple choice, true or false, fill in the blanks, drag and drop again, and essay questions. So usually you can't display H5P content like this. You have to scroll, or not scroll, but pass horizontally through questions or through different modules. But what the column allows you is to stack modules on top of each other. There is a shortcoming, and that is all of these different activities are not considered as one activity. So you see the check here for each module has its own check button that calculates its own score, and they're not added up together. But otherwise, it's a great way to show more than one module on one page using just the columns module. Alright, let's take a look at how we can create a column using H5P on WordPress. Let's get started creating a columns activity on WordPress using H5P. So first thing you want to do is come down to your H5P content, and you want to add some new content. From the module list, you want to find the columns module, the column module here. If it's not installed, you can click on get to install it. Once it's installed, you can click on that module to add it. You give it a title, and under the title you have your content. So it says list of content here, list of column content, and you can add as much content as you want, and it will all be displayed on one page in a column. So that is basically all that the column does, is that it puts as many activities or as many modules as you want on one page. And if you go to content, you can see the type of content that you can add, and you can add everything from accordions to videos. You have all this different type of content. So for example, let's add a text here. This is just a text that will be added to the column, and we can maybe put some instructions here that says, please study the presentation and complete the questions. So this is what we have as instructions, and you can use a ruler above or a ruler under. Basically here we're using above. So when this text is shown in the activity, do you want to have a ruler above? That means just a separator. It's a line that separates it from the previous module that you have added. So we'll just keep this as automatic for now, and then we'll see how that works. So now that I've added my text, I can click on create, and I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, so right now all we have is this right here. Please study the presentation and complete the questions. So I'm going back to edit, and since my instruction is to study the presentation, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add more content. So I come down here to add content, and I add content, and this time what I want to add is a presentation. It's called course presentation. And as you can see, you can create the presentation right here. But since I've created every type of module before, I'll show you how to bring in pre-made modules into here, because I don't want to show you how to create a course presentation since it's already done. You can look in the description. You'll see a link to the course presentation module and how to use it. So I've got these tabs open up here, and in these tabs I have different modules. So this is my course presentation that I've made before. It's got 8 slides. So what I can do is I just come to this module that I've made already. I'll click on copy. And this is a great feature of H5P, that you can copy and paste your content anywhere you want in other in modules like columns or workbooks, interactive workbooks. I'll come back to my column here, and I've got this right here. It's blank. It's a presentation. So 2 ways I can do this. I can say paste, and it will tell me to replace it. Or what I can do is I can add a content. I don't say what the content type is, and I can just paste. So I have copied it from here. I come here and I click paste, and that puts my course presentation in here. So let's say always use a ruler above. So now we should have our text, we should have our presentation, and above our presentation we should have a horizontal line separating the two contents. Let's update and let's take a look at what it looks like now. Okay, great. So now I have my text, I have a line here, and then I've got my presentation, and the presentation works like normal. So let me go back and I'll add some more content just to make this longer. So I got my course presentation, and as you can see, every module has its own settings. So this behavior settings here are exclusive to this content right here, which is the presentation. Anything I change in the behavior settings only applies to this specific content right here. It doesn't change any other content like text or anything that I add after. So I'm gonna add another content block, and as you can see, we have so many different types of modules we can add. And what I'm gonna add next is I'm gonna add, let's see, I've got course, multiple choice, true or false, fill in the blanks, drag and drop. I have a list here of all the modules that I've created before. So I want to add something that is for studying, something that they can review. Let's see, dialog cards. This is cool. So I'll click on the edit for the dialog cards. Okay, so I've got here 3 cards, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come up here and I'm gonna click on copy. This copies the whole module, and I'm gonna come back here. I don't need to select the type, I just paste, and it's gonna paste the dialog cards here. Dialog cards are all here with the 3 different cards, and automatic, we just say always use ruler above. Again, behavioral settings applies to this module only. So right now I've got 3 different types of contents in my column. I've got the text, I've got my course presentation, and I've got my dialog cards. Let me update and let's just take a look at that. Okay, so I've got my text, my presentation. Now I've got my dialog cards that I can turn. Got it right, and it's functioning normally. I can't decide, or I can't set the space between the two modules, but I can put a line. That's all I can do, a line between them. So let me go back, and I'm gonna add a few more modules this time. I won't test them out every time I add them, but I'll add a few, then we'll come back and see what it looks like at the end. So we're looking to create a column full of activities or modules. So I'm gonna add new content. This time multiple choice, so I can add multiple choice. I'll copy that. I'll come back to my column, and I'll paste. So it picks it up that it's a multiple choice, automatically knows, and it imports everything here. I'll leave everything else the way it is. Let me add maybe true or false. I'll copy it. I'll paste it. True or false. I'll add another one. Fill in the blank. So I'm gonna add a few more. I'll paste that, picks it up, fill in the blanks, and it knows. Imported everything, pasted everything. Drag and drop. Why not? Come here. This is my content block. I'll paste it, drag text, and it knows what I want it to do. Add more content. Another drag and drop. This one is with images, so I'm gonna say paste, and it says drag and drop, and it knows, and it's got everything here pasted. I'll add another one. This is the last one, and this is an essay question. I'll copy it, I'll paste it, gets picked up. And again, each one of these has its own behavior settings that we can change, but let me just collapse all of these. So right now I have a column with 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 different modules. Should make them 10, but that's okay. So you can add as much content as you want, and the only overall settings for this module, for the column module, is just text overrides, where you can override the different text for each module. So true or false, you can override true and false to have them say something else, or you can just come here and change the language of the whole thing. We don't want to do that. And I don't want to display any toolbars below my content. Let's click update, and let's see what it looks like now. So it should be much longer than we first started. Okay, so we have our text, our presentation, our dialog cards, and we have our multiple choice, we have our true or false, we have our fill in the blanks, we have our drag the words, we have our drag and drops for images, and we have our essay question. So we have everything all in one page. Nothing else I really want to do here. So to get this on your website, what you want to do is you want to copy this shortcode here, and you want to add it to a new post or to a new page. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add it to a new post. Okay, so this is our new post. We'll give it a number and a name, and what you want to do is you want to add a new block, and this block has to be a shortcode block, and then you can paste your shortcode into your shortcode block. Then you can publish, yes, publish, and view post. Okay, so we have our column here, and it's got all of the activities that we set up. We got our text, presentation, and so on, all the way down to our essay question. Now, there is one thing that you should know about this column, is all that this column does is it displays different modules. It doesn't really connect them in any way. It is basically just displaying all the modules in one page vertically. So one problem with H5P, one limitation with H5P is that, for example, if you add a question set or a quiz or more than one question in a module, you have to scroll through those questions horizontally. You'll do one question, then you'll jump to the next one. On the you have to scroll horizontally to the next one. They're not all in one page, especially with the question set. That is a quiz. You have to scroll through them. They're not on one page. So what this does is it puts everything in one page. But the problem with this is that it doesn't keep score. It doesn't regard this as one module that has one score. For example, so if we have these questions here, if I get this question right, I get 1 out of 1. It doesn't look at the whole module as a whole. It doesn't add up the score. If I say check, put some words here, check, I give some answers. What happened there? Confirm, cancel, check, I got a 0 here. Let's say check, and check my essay. We have to give it at least, I remember this, we have to give it at least a minimum number of words. Let's check that. I've got a 0 out of 100. So you see that these are different modules and I've got a different score for each one. And it doesn't give me a total score. It doesn't add them all up. And in the result, they'll show up separately as well. They don't show up as one quiz or one test. That's the main problem with this column. Otherwise, it is a great way to display more than one module on one page vertically like this. So what you can do is you can have maybe a text at the top, and then you can have 5 or 6 different multiple choice questions all on one page, all vertically. So if you have used learning different learning management systems like Drupal or Blackboard, when you display your quizzes, you can display them. There's an option that says show all questions. That way the user can see all questions at once. H5P has a more difficult time doing that with the way it is now. So this way we can show all questions, but they're not connected and they're not considered as one big activity. That's it. There's nothing else to it. If you want to see how to create all of these modules that we've put in here, you can find them in the description. You can find them on the channel. We have a detailed we got detailed tutorials on all of these modules. If you have any questions, any comments, anything you would like to know, please let me know in the comment section. Otherwise, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.